Go.
Okay, so this is how to scratch build model railway buildings part 3. What I wanted to just show you was last time I'd already done that bit, so I thought it'd be a good idea to show you how we mark them out. So at the moment I'm trying to make this side. So what I've done is, this is a copy of that. It's measured from this. So if you ever are making one of these buildings from plans, one of the things I learned building tanks was never measure off the plan, because your building will always be slightly different. As I say, again, aided by the fact I've just used standard measurements. So you can see on here, this is just a copy. So what I'm going to do now is just cut it out. And it's always best to cut the main part out first, and then go back and do the fiddly bits. Interestingly, this is very similar techniques that I used to use when scratch building armoured vehicles in the same scale, but obviously much smaller pieces. So there would be a little bit of, obviously, I thought I'd do this because I'm kind of assuming that everybody knows how to draw something out and cut something out, but it's always possible that somebody hasn't seen it before. And this, after all, is the first time I've done it as well for this sort of project. Then I'm just going to cut this out. Now these lines are important because they stop you going too far. To be absolutely honest, this knife probably wants changing. Sharper blade is a bit easier. Now this you've got to remember is a score mark. Now this is all about learning, and since we did the last bit I've realised that although the walls are 5mm, you lose a little bit in the curve, so I've actually made these 6mm, and that's the nice thing about this, you learn quite quickly. So I think by the time I did the second building I measured a lot of the bugs out. So that then just comes out.
Just like a normal kit, just pops out.
These will fold. Just going to pre-fold them and then back again. And then the window here. I mean, in some ways all you're really doing is making your own, as you go along, sort of Metcalfe or super quick kit. The difference is that obviously it's got a lot stronger subframe than theirs because it's 5mm card. So we need to just score these again. I say the nice thing is if you have got it wrong, although you've wasted the time, you haven't wasted any money. I mean, I can remember building one of my more complicated tanks once, and eventually ended up throwing away about half a sheet because it took me about 6 attempts to cut this very complicated plastic card, which is quite an expensive way of doing it. Now what I'm doing here is just making sure that it fits. Now you can see that it doesn't quite, this isn't quite lining up. That one's alright, but so what we're going to try and do, a bit fiddly, because it didn't like doing it when I tried it just now. No, it's not going to like doing it.
Do you need help?
No, I don't think so. I think I can ruin it all on my own. Trying to... No, it's not going to... Let's just see if we can... Just trying to either cut it out or weaken the edge a bit. And you can be quite rough with it because it's all going to be hidden. So we know that one fits. That one's okay. It's that one that's a little bit problematic. Aha, that's one of the reasons. That's a little bit low, so if we just do a little snip there. There we go. Now we're going to see about getting this window to fit. That one again is a bit out. Actually, what I'll try doing is let's cut these a little bit more and just see if that works. It might actually be easier. Should have used my own straight edge there, so that's not quite gone right. And we'll see if that one just bends around a little bit earlier. That's it. And we'll do the same on this one. A little bit more. That's going to work quite well. So that's that piece then. So what we need to do now is we need to back this with brick paper. Cool. Add West brick tile on this piece. So what I'm going to do, you can just about with this, when you look, see where the print is on the other side. So I'm just going to run that along like that, and then very simply, I'm not going to draw it out or mark it out. Don't need to, because you can simply do that. Move. Okay. Still moved. And that one's going to be interesting. What I'm going to do here, just put that mark like that, and we should be able to work from that. Then what you have to be careful of is that, I've done it again, you see, good job I checked. That wouldn't have worked because that's the coving, so we've got to do that one again.
That's what you did the first time.
That's what I did the first time, but I did learn this time and checked. So let's try again.
So you can use it again rather than
So we
last
can
time
still
you
use
cut
that
it out
again.
and you
Cut it
couldn't
out
use it.
before I realised. Excuse me if I'm not waffling on when I'm doing this, but I'm trying to concentrate really. Right, so what we're going to do now, cut this out. One last check, make sure we've got it the right way around. And that's quick and easy, you're not having to draw that shape out for another time, you're literally just drawing around the one you've got. Something I found again when I was trying to make, on some of the vehicles I used to make, you might have to make 4 identical components. And you would sit there trying to draw out 4 identical components, and they would never come out the same. And in the end I realised you made one, you drew round it, and then you filed the other ones back until they were the same shape. And then that way you got 4 identical pieces. And always remember it's better to be too big than too small, because it's always relatively easy to cut a piece off. It's not very easy to add. So what we're going to do here, just cut out this square. Remembering to just carry on a little bit that way for the folder. And that way.
You're going to have to slightly speed up.
We're running out of time, are we? We'll
5
have to do it
minutes.
as another video. That's that one. And I just want to make sure I've added a little cut on these 4 the fold.
As I say, if we can get 100 subscribers, we can start doing 20-minute plus videos. But because we don't have enough, I do 15-minute 1-second videos.
And then this one, I'm just gently cutting with a knife. Sometimes it tears, but on this occasion it hasn't, which is good. There we go. Right, there's my piece. So, we should now be able to just simply glue this on there, like that. See, it's quite a nice fit because of the way we did it. And this is just going to show you what we were saying earlier about the glue. So you run it around.
You can see it that well, but it's the kind of brighter colour. You should be able to see it better now.
Run it all around the edges to start off with, and any bits that you want. And then, although it's messy, get your finger.
Cameraman coming to help.
That's all right. Don't know, because you'll get that on the camera. Sorry, son. It won't work. We've already got a problem with one of the cameras. It doesn't work. Right. So we can then take this, place it on. You do have a little bit of time to move it around, but not a lot. That's what happens.
Yeah, as I found out with the training wheels, once you put it on, it's on. Can't really mess around with it.
So we've got a bit of a fold there that we've just got to try and just get out of. There we go.
You probably just about have enough time to just stick it on.
I'm just going to trim this edge.
3 minutes.
Oh, we can always do another video. Okay, then this is the tricky bit.
Good shit. That's what we've built so far, that you'll see in part 1 and part 2.
What we just want to see is if this will, which it pretty much will. Yep. So we've just got this little bit here. And then plenty of glue. I think we've got shares in PVA glue by the time we've built hills and done ballasting and everything else. How are we doing for time, cameraman?
Just over 2 minutes.
It's like doing 60-minute makeover.
No,
2 minutes.
Except it's 15-minute 1-second makeover.
You don't have to smear this glue around as much because you're gluing it onto card.
Designers.
10 minutes, designers.
Except for us, it's just under 2 minutes, designers.
It's a bit of a fiddle to get it all.
Then I'll just do an aerial shot of it.
I just want to get this. I think a bit of the trouble with the window here. Not quite working. Quite sure why, because it's not very, there we go. I need to pull it that way a bit, and then that pulls that out. Sorry, I'm lifting it, I keep forgetting the camera, I can't see it.
1 minute. Tick.
I think you can see there how it works.
Don't rush it, and you've still got an entire minute.
There you go. The important thing, hopefully, you can see is the edges then are very neat, and you've got the actual thickness of a real wall.
So now it's got this wall, it's got this wall, it's got the inner platform there, and the white line in the wall there.
Now what I'll probably do is do the two ends without filming it, and then we'll show you the later stages from there. And there you go.
3, 2, 1.